We've talked in the past about how copyright and AI are kind of negotiating legally, where to land. And there's a new case. Well, it's a couple months old, but an artist by the name of Christina Kashtanova, sent in her comic book, which is called Zarya, I believe it's pronounced, Zarya of the Dawn, to the Copyright Office. She got a copy written, everything was golden. She got a letter a couple months later saying, actually, we didn't realize that the artwork in your comic book was generated by Midjourney, which is one of these AI platforms. And they revoked partial copyright on the artwork itself. So now she's suing or she's, appealing this decision, saying, basically, I have to feed in a certain prompt, and that's the artwork here, right? The fact that it's almost like a paintbrush to a painter. This is just another tool now, so this should be copywritten.
Which makes sense, but in the same breath, that we talked about this in the past, that AI tool had to have been fed artwork from wherever, artwork that likely is copyrighted, that has its own copyright, to create this new derivative form of art. And it's just all of these new IP considerations here where is this, can I copyright this because even though it was created utilizing other copyrighted works? You're right, is it just simply another tool that an artist can use to create an original art piece? All these questions.
Now, what's interesting is there's actually two legal precedents being cited here, or at least being referenced in this case, which are, they're kind of opposing ideas, but each is interesting. One was from 1997. It was a decision by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in a case of Urantia Foundation versus Maahira. I'm probably butchering that name, but the basic premise was some organization claimed that a book was written by a celestial being and that they were copywriting what was written by this celestial being. And the Copyright Office says there has to be some human element. Some human has to have done something here. That's what copyright is for. So they overturned the copyright. So that's one. The other is back in 1965, a scientist at Bell Labs was able to copyright an AI-generated image because he wrote the code to produce the AI-generated image. So those are the two things being cited in this case, which is quite interesting.
What a weird body of case law. I'm not an IP attorney, as you can tell whenever we speak about these AI-related topics, but this is absolutely fascinating. I don't know where I come down on this. At least I understand. I think we've talked about this in the past where Getty won't even allow AI generated.
Yeah, they don't even want to deal with these questions.
They don't even want to touch it. Yeah, because these questions are so fascinating. Yeah. This piece of work, is it nothing more than just another copyrighted art piece? And I guess that it also goes into there's so many questions here. If the AI generated art, how much of it is truly AI generated? If it's how similar is it to the to a potential original?
Well, this has always been my question. If you and I were to both sit at the same Midjourney screen, and somebody prompted us to, come up with an image of mountains and with a stream and a helicopter flying through. What you and I would each feed into the machine to get to that would produce something different, right? So how much of that is us? How much of that? Yeah, it's really fascinating, right?
What I'd love to see is if we both get the same image. If for some reason we put in the exact same prompt,
right? Everything
for some reason is exactly the same. Who owns it at that point?
That is also an interesting question.
There's a lot of questions here. If you're an IP attorney, a professor, please feel free to shoot us a tweet, DM, or an email or whatever. We'd love to get somebody's take on this because this is not our purview, but it is fascinating.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out also on LinkedIn and Twitter to keep up to speed with what we're doing. Catch you on the next one.